So I'm adding a little bit more detail to my apple now, and what I'm going to concentrate on is describing the markings on the apple, the sort of the red markings. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just add water to the areas where I see those red markings. So I'm not completely covering the apple in clean water. I'm just here and there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my red, cadmium red, and I'm going to use that, and I'm just going to drop it in where I would have put the water and let it kind of swim around, let it do what it wants. The little bit of wet surface, the putting the clean water on first, helps soften the stroke, so it sort of sinks into the skin of the apple more. It's not a very strong stripy line you want. You want just sort of a soft layer. So just wherever I see that marking, I'll put little touches in. Okay, and I'm actually, I suppose, as I start to run out of red paint, I can put in fainter and fainter lines as well. Okay. Other little things I've done as well is I have darkened my shadow under the apple. So in order to do that, you could use a grey, but I like to mix a grey. So if I mix a grey, what I do is I make a brown first, really. So blue and red and yellow, your three primary colours, will make a brown. And if you want it to be more greyish, add a little bit more blue to the mix. And always we have our little chart, our little piece of rough paper, watercolour paper, just to see what we have. Have we got a grey or have we got a brown? So I'm happy enough with that, and I'll use that, as you can see, just in under the apple, just to darken that area there. Okay. I might also clean my brush first of all, maybe have a look at the stem, and I suppose in reality when I look at the apple, the stem is quite dark and it's quite a dirty kind of a green. So I'm going to go back to my tray again, and maybe I'll just use a little bit more of that grey that I've mixed, kind of a greeny grey now, so I'm going to add a little bit more yellow and blue to it, and see what I have. And I'm going to use that on my stem, and I'm going to darken up that stem another little bit. Just the I suppose the lower part of the stem. There's still, from what I can see, there's a fair bit of light on the top of the stem. Okay, and then maybe the final finish off, I might just go back to my red, use a little bit of red with my grey. So just mixing it there, and this is really, I don't really want to do too much more to this apple now, but just to define the edge of it. The darkness is on the left hand side, the light seems to be on the right. So I'm looking at a little bit maybe more shadow on this side, and you're getting to a stage where you can overwork things very easily as well. So I think I'll be stopping fairly soon. So apples they're a good subject matter to start off with, especially if you haven't painted or used watercolour before, or you have used watercolour but you're a little bit rusty, you haven't used it in a while. It's a nice subject to paint. It's it's simple enough shape, forgiving enough shape, and interesting colours.